Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 221, Noland and Calgara Statues. The Confrontation. So you have the authorization card, no wonder you came here, Roger, hahaha. Oro Jackson's ship was parked in front of the stunning port entrance. While gazing at the ship, the fat fishman felt nostalgic. Beside the entrance gate stood 5 guards with powerful auras, all of whom turned out to be strong B-level and A-level hunters. And their only role here is to guard the gate of the subport. The person who spoke with Roger earlier is the same person who built his ship, Oro Jackson, in the past, so he was nostalgic about the best ship he made in his career. I was expecting to see you here, my friend Tom. It seems that the news of your alliance with Rob is not just a rumor, is it? Roger was seated at the front of the ship while Tom, on the other hand, was standing on the gate berth. Here. It's original. Open the gate for them. Tom gave Roger's authorization card to the hunter in charge of guarding this place. When the hunter verified that it was not forged, he ordered his subordinates to open the gate. Actually, my joining to Mr. Rob is indeed somewhat correct, otherwise how do you think such a huge port could have been built amid the waters without the help of our fishmen race? Tom seemed very proud when he mentioned his race. That's because with Rob's help the fishmen race was able to participate in human activities under the real sun, and they now have great prestige. So then? I'm happy for you, my friend. In front of Oro Jackson, the huge gate opened, and then a large banner appeared on the only path there, written on it, Up arrow Skypea up arrow. And on the back of the same banner, Down arrow Paradise, water 7 down arrow. This subport has only one destination, so you are already going to Skypea. In the manga, Gonfall mentioned your arrival there in certain lines. And the words you engraved on the golden wall are still fresh in my mind. Does that still make sense if you repeat this scenario? Oro Jackson began a smooth sail and bypassed the gate towards the inner port. For me, the future has no meaning. I will do as I see fit at the right moment, that's all. Now, goodbye, my friend Tom. The moment Roger's ship entered the teleportation space, the teleportation was activated instantly, and the ship disappeared from the blue sea. On the coast of Lanil country, the World Cruise Company's ship stopped after 2 weeks of traveling from Jaya Island in the middle of the first part of the Grand Line, to the far west of the North Blue where Lanil country lies. Phew! My trip to the Grand Line was only for 3 months. But, why do I have this feeling like I've been away from this place for decades? In these 3 months that he was away from Lanil, the young Mont Blanc cricket has matured much more than he can imagine. The simplest thing that has changed in him is his age, as he turned 17 at the end of the last month. But the big change is in his personality and history. What he went through in this period was really miraculous. It seemed as if he inherited the memories of his future self and became more mature to the point that he had a desire to smoke just like cricket in the manga. Same for us, boss. The 2 people who spoke were his bodyguards who followed him on his exciting journey to Jaya, Samuel, and Ramos. Boss. Look over there. This. Young Cricket's body trembled after seeing this, and then the next moment, warm tears started to wet his face. He hadn't imagined that he would cry again after all those tears he left in Jaya. But now, he couldn't stop even if he wanted to. Sam and Ram behind him sighed and put their hands on his shoulders. After all, their boss was still a child. Boss. The ancestors Noland and Calgara seem happy to have you back. In addition to the art store beacon, the 2 most notable things in Lanil, which could visible even from the coast, were 2 large golden statues of one of the best friends in history. The 2 golden statues were placing their hands on each other's shoulders and laughing with happy expressions. Seeing these 2 statues can make anyone smile, no matter how bad their mood is. Above the 2 statues, the art store beacon was borrowed to show certain words of welcome. Welcome back, the hero of the Mont Blanc clan. Mont Blanc cricket. This was the reason why Cricket was unable to control his emotions again. Which hero? I am just another member of the clan. No, boss, you are a true hero, as you are the only one who chose to go in search of the truth to clear the name of the ancestor. Not only did you do this in the future, but even in the present. Besides you, no one else is worthy of the title of hero. For Admiral Noland, you are the hero who helped clear his name. And for the clan, you are the hero who helped us raise our heads again and walk with pride anywhere. We are proud to be your followers. Cricket looked forward as he saw many people coming in his direction, including his father and his mother. Welcome back, my son. For a moment Cricket felt as if he was living a beautiful dream from which he never wanted to wake up. I'm back, Dad. Wararararo. The unbridled dragon's laughter spread over Skypiea, bringing with it a powerful aura that enveloped the entire Sky Island. Everyone who saw the gigantic dragon felt its legs losing strength and becoming soft. The Scypians and their god felt utter fear at the sight of the dragon flying in circles over Angel Island. Gonfall and his knights especially felt déjà vu, as Rob first arrived here on the back of a dragon resembling this dragon. It's Kaido and two of his calamities. What's going on in this place? First, Big Mom pirates have arrived and now Kaido has arrived. Who's coming next? Kuzan felt a bad premonition after thinking about it, because in the next moment. Jahahaha. Looks like you're not learning from past lessons, Kaido. 5 floating islands approached Skypiea, but the voice of the person on board the largest island arrived before that. It turned out to be an old fool. Kaido growled angrily after seeing the arrival of someone dangerous to his plans. Kuzan's bad premonition came true when the conqueror haki of both sides collided and split up the sky above Skypiea in half. 5 floating islands facing a giant dragon. And the place of confrontation, right above Angel Island. This was undoubtedly a great pirates-level battle. Only shock waves from such a battle could destroy everything in its path. Kuzan improvised and prepared to use his power to protect the innocent in this place. Chapter 222, Roger Pirate's Arrival. Lightning Fruit Awakening. Oro Jackson's ship exited one of the 6 exits and followed the path toward Heaven's Gate. Phew! Everything is white exactly as it appeared in the manga. Odin seemed like an excited kid at the moment. He's had a lot of fun adventures with Whitebeard's crew and Roger's crew too, but this is the first time he's come to Sky Island, an island in the sky. Even if he actually saw it in the manga, seeing it in reality is a completely different thing. This Heaven Gate port would be the great invention of the century. Rob now has control of the best and safest method of travel ever. I think even the celestial dragons would be tempted to try to snatch it from him. Rayleigh couldn't help but sigh because of everything he had seen so far. Wahahaha. You're right, Rayleigh, it looks like Rob has far outnumbered us in terms of accomplishments for the common good. I don't think the celestial dragons would dare try to snatch something from Rob. After all, he can ban anime and manga to them, right? Oh. What a cruelty. Gaban, how did you think of such a violent method of torture? Even if they are celestial dragons, it's still too cruel. Gaban-san. I didn't know you were so sadistic. Gaban-san. You are so scary. Get away from me, you brats. Arg. Shanks and Buggy were both sent flying by one kick from Gaban while the other people lowered their heads for fear of being kicked like the miserable brats. Wahahaha. Ha 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 ha. Roger, Rayleigh, and Odin laughed so hard at this scene. The entry fee is 1,000 berry per person. Are you the same old woman who Luffy called Dry Pickle? Let me think. Your name is Amazon, isn't it, Arg? Respect a lady, you idiot. Roger cried without tears because of the blow he received from Gaban. Sorry, you lady, this idiot was joking. Shut up, you bastards. The gatekeeper of Heaven's Gate was the same old woman who appeared in the manga but 25 years younger than that time, so of course, even though she was in her peak 50s she still looked like an angel MILF. She didn't look that old at all. No need to apologize, I'm already used to it. All creatures are destined to become old. Now, will you pay the entrance fee, or you can refuse but bear the consequences? We will definitely pay, we are not thieves. Captain. Aren't we pirates? Shut up, what do you know? As soon as they finished the check-in procedures, a huge crab appeared, which grabbed its claws at the bottom of the ship and pulled it across the spiral river that soared into the sky. Phew! God's land is in the fore. It's the same experience as Luffy and his friends in the manga. A big smile appeared on Roger's face as he remembered the excited faces of Luffy and his partners when they were at the same point as them. Undoubtedly, until now, they were going through the same experience. He also had partners who were excited to see the legendary Sky Island. With the help of a huge crab, Oro Jackson broke through the huge hole in the white sea and rushed to the realm above. Yeah guys, we're here. It's Sky Island. But, what's going on here? Once the ship was settled over the white sea, they could see violent hockey sparks on the horizon. A giant rock monster made of 5 islands collided against a giant blue dragon that split up the sky in a scene from Legends. Rayleigh, Gaban, Odin, and you Bullet. Take care of civilians, I'm going to stop these bastards. Roger took out his sword ace from its sheath and shot out of the ship like an arrow from the bow. So fast to the point that he looked like a red meteor rising upwards. It seemed as if the air in front of him had become a solid ground to walk on. In a short time, he traveled vast distances and reached the battlefield. Roger's arrival brought the terrible battle to a halt and the two sides in the fight felt threatened. Jahahaha. Who would have expected you would come too, Roger? Will you obediently leave this place or will you leave it horribly? Roger's hilarious mood has completely changed, as he has turned into a predatory beast ready to tear apart his prey at any moment. Hoi! Hoi! Roger, you didn't forget that the person you are saying this nonsense to is the Golden Lion himself? Shiki. You know very well what will happen if I get angry. This place is not yours to do what you want. Your battle has already caused a lot of losses here. I won't let you continue. Leave this place and fight far away as you want. If it wasn't for that Navy kid, it would have been worse. Roger was really grateful to Kuzan. Kaido's dragon face looked down. Many of the clouds and houses on it were destroyed by the rocks that fell from Shiki's huge rock golem. But many of them were also protected by ice domes, which were summoned by a tall young man in the robe of a vice admiral from the Navy standing in the foreground, his body spewing freezing cold air. Kuzan was busy protecting several Scipians from the frightening effects of the battle above Angel Island. Due to him, no one has died yet. Ra, Roger, pirates are here too. The thing's getting out of hand. Of course, Kuzan can see the third party who just joined. Instead of a two-person fight, with Roger joining in, the fight turned into a three-person fight, with Roger pressing the two on their back foot. With Rayleigh, Bullet, and the rest of Roger's crew arriving on Angel Island, most of the damage from the battle has been repelled, so Roger hasn't restrained himself. Kaido felt pressure from Roger and could not help but think of other ways to get out with minimal damage from here. King, Queen, move to the upper yard and find the poneglyph. When you find it, copy its content, and we'll leave this place at once. The duo who weren't too far away received their captain's orders and headed out to carry them out. But near the upper yard, they were intercepted by Gaban and Odin, and another frightening battle began. At the Navy headquarters, Fleet Admiral Sengoku received the news from Kuzan that made him horrified. Big Mom pirates, Beasts pirates, Golden Lion pirates, Roger pirates. All those monsters are on Sky Island at this moment. Chaos has already begun. What a big gathering of monsters, the last time such an event happened in the Alabasta Sea War. Zephyr felt a headache after hearing that. To stop the gold lovers' chaos, Sakazuki and Borsalino were sent to the New World, who have successfully managed to relieve much of the pressure. Kuzan and Garp were also sent to take control of Paradise, but it looks like they needed to send more forces for support. Maybe the Fleet Admiral himself would need to out. At least Kuzan has succeeded in the most important task, saving a lot of Scipians. That's exactly what we need. Now, we'll see where all that goes. On the battlefield, a big change indeed occurred, as the sky darkened over the heads of Roger, Shiki, and Kaido as blue and yellow lightning covered the entire Skypiea sky.
A terrifying aura enveloped everyone as if God himself were to emerge from that sky of lightning.
This Logia awakening. Shiki was dumbfounded by the scene. Kaido also felt goosebumps and a little fear build up within him. But Roger was excited to meet his friend again. The previously carpet-shaped lightning sea turned to be an extremely huge ball in the process, covering the three beasts' battlefield. To the viewers below, it looked as if a huge beast made of lightning opened its mouth and swallowed all three. Chapter 223, Rob shows his power. Part 1. Before Rob arrives on the battlefield. In the mirror's world. Rob was able to get into this place because he grabbed Broly before she escaped in front of the mirror, and he disappeared into the mirror of the royal hall without Cobra and his wife even realizing. Broly, what happened to you? Why did you suddenly scream? This. Katakuri ran to check on his younger sister, who was shrunk into a ball on the ground, but he was surprised to see a tall man standing in front of them with a cold look on his face. Rob ignored all of Katakuri and his sister and looked at Big Mom. What were you up to do, Lin Lin? Rob's question was direct, as his appearance in the mirror's world surprised the Big Mom's pirates but did not cause them to panic. Rob was their ally after all, and they weren't planning on giving up such an ally under any circumstances. So that's you, dear Rob. Did you miss me to the point of looking for me everywhere when you couldn't find me in the outside world, mama? The look on Lin Lin's face looked more excited than ever as she approached Rob. She tried her best to hide any loophole she might leave so that he could discover her attempts to snatch Pluton. But what she didn't know was that Rob already knew this from the beginning. You're still the same Lin Lin. Well, I'll forgive your mistake this time, but there won't be another chance. Rob's expression turned gentle in contrast to the cold expression previously, looking at Lin Lin in front of him, who was trying everything she could to maintain a smooth relationship with him. He wasn't a difficult person for his allies. Huh? Lin Lin seemed to be confused by Rob's response. What do you mean by forgiving my mistake? What's that mistake? We've dealt with each other for years, Lin Lin. Do you think I'm an idiot? You and your children hiding in the mirror's world for Pluton, right? Rob especially enjoyed the face Lin Lin showed after telling her that. I will do you a favor and tell you a little secret for our alliance. Pluton does not exist in this country. I took it away a long time ago, so you are just wasting your time and effort here. It's one of my trump cards now, so don't bother staying here anymore. This is big news. Does he call this a little secret? Unbelievable. The Sky Sword already has an ancient weapon under his belt. How terrifying. The Big Mom's children were shocked. They can't help but they unable to absorb what they had just heard. They never doubted the truth of what Rob had said because he had no reason to lie. But the one who was most shocked was Big Mom herself. Lin Lin had been allied with Rob for over 2 years, but she had never known anything about this matter. We've been allies for a long time, but you didn't even tell me this little secret. What a disappointment. Lin Lin started to act coquettishly, and even she hugged Rob, who was stuffed into the deep valley inside her breasts without resistance. The height difference between them was too big after all. Over the past 2 years, Lin Lin has gained a lot of courage trying to work her way up with Rob more than once. That's because she found that he wasn't really bothered by her attempts. No, the real reason that was she was a first-class masochist. Rob grabbed her huge nipples with his hands that were imbued with the most dangerous yellow lightning and then discharged a large amount of lightning that could kill 2 adult elephants. Of course, that discharge was not deadly for Lin Lin, but it was without a doubt extremely painful as well as extremely enjoyable for a masochist like Lin Lin. Her tongue drooped out of her mouth and it seemed as if she had completely lost control of her body as she fell to the ground, unable to move. The Big Mom's sons were so embarrassed at this moment that they wanted to dig a hole and hide in it. The scene of their mother enjoying this situation was like adding salt to a wound. Well, I'm leaving. You can enjoy your trip on Sky Island as you like. Rob threw the permission card towards Katakuri, who grabbed it easily as if he had expected it. This card will enable you to return to the new world through Heaven's Gate port. When your mother wakes up, tell her that if word of Alabastus' existence in this place leaks out, she will suffer more consequences than before. The moment Rob stepped out of the mirror's world, he felt that the situation on Angel Island was completely unexpected.
Shiki, Kaido. And Roger? Interesting.
A big smile appeared on Rob's face, and then the next moment he disappeared from Alabasta and appeared in the sky between the two islands. He quickly crossed a thin barrier that is not insulating to bodies but insulating to the senses, this barrier from the art store to deceive the senses of the powerful people who would come to Skypiea. This barrier was the reason why the Big Mom crew's senses were isolated and they didn't sense the island's existence until they reached it. This barrier was also the reason why neither Shiki, Kaido, nor Roger sensed Alabasta's existence, even though it was so close that it was clearly visible. Incredibly fast, Rob arrived on the intense battlefield. When he saw the big damage caused by the battle in this place, he felt an uncontrollable rage, so he didn't hide anything anymore and unleashed the highest ability he possessed in his arsenal.
An ability that cannot be easily shown.
The heart containing the lightning fruit started to throb like the drum's sound. Then the air around Rob turned into a sea of high-intensity lightning. Everywhere he looked on the horizon, the air turned into lightning. The sky above the battlefield was darkening but bright at the same time, in stark contrast to logic.
This Logia awakening.
Even Roger, who normally nothing could astonish him, couldn't help but sigh in admiration.
The Logia awakening was not something that could be seen every day.
This is because the most difficult type of devil fruit to awaken it is the Logia type. Most of the people in the pirates' world had not reached this point, so they thought that the Logia had no awakening stage. But in fact, just like the other two types, the Logia also has an awakening stage.
But it's fundamentally different from the awakening of Paramecia or Zoan.
Paramecia awakening, for example, allows the user to influence their surroundings and transform inanimate elements such as rocks, houses, or minerals into the same element represented by the Paramecia fruit, which helps the user to create their own force field and allows them to easily control it. Even living elements such as trees and humans can influence it, but rather slowly.
Paramecia is the easiest type to awaken it. Then the second type difficult to awaken is the Zoan.
The awakening of the Zoan is considered to sublimate the vital capacity of the fruit to the next great stage, where the first permanent benefit of Zoan awakening is the users permanently receiving a huge boost of vitality. Of course, the amount of vitality depends on the type of animal or beast in the devil fruit. The Zoan awakening allows the user to combine his human genes with animal genes acquired from the fruit together and awaken the status of a more robust, resilient, and vibrant hybrid.
In the hybrid mode, the strength of the Zoan user is much stronger than in a normal transformation.
The mythical Zoan is said to have a second stage of awakening, but such a thing has never been seen before, so some consider it just a legend. Exactly, that's why most people in the pirates' world are unanimous in the fact that Logia don't have an awakening stage and consider it a legend, because very few people have seen the awakening process of Logia, and maybe they died before had a chance to tell about it. Basically, the Logia once eaten allows the user to influence their surroundings, densely covering them with the element of the fruit.
This is similar to the stage of awakening but without awakening.
A powerful Logia user, even without awakening his fruit, could turn half an island into his fruit item by mass-producing his devil fruit ability.
But what if a Logia user could awaken the true abilities of a Logia?
At that time, let the world prepare to face terror.
Did you just say Logia awakening? Is this a joke, Roger?
Shiki's brow creased when he saw the abnormal situation starting to unfold. The sea of lightning in the sky seemed to shrink and then turned into a bottomless abyss and swallowed all of them. In the sky appeared a ball of lightning several times larger than what Enel produced with the help of Maxim's ship in the manga. The Scipians, the Shandians, the Alabastas, and also the Birkins felt their souls escaping from their bodies at this moment. The pressure from the Sun of Lightning was so enormous that even the people of Jaya Island could see and feel terrified of Lightning's sun even from such a great distance. The glow of the lightning sun even overshadowed the glow of the real sun, making the sky above Jaya so bright that it seemed unnatural. Far away in Marigoa, Imo raised her head and stared at the distant horizon as if looking directly at something, her beautiful eyes reflecting a huge sun made of lightning.
You've reached this level already?
Interesting, this level of power makes me feel so excited even at my current level.
Chapter 224, Rob shows his power. Part 2.
The pirates and thugs on Jaya Island couldn't even open their eyes at the current situation, let alone raise their heads to see what was going on. Only strong people like Garp could easily stare and spot the situation.
What the hell is going on over there? This thick lightning. Is it awakening of the world's most destructive Logia?
Even Garp breathed a breath of cold air, unable to calm himself at this moment. The situation he was currently seeing was so rare that it was simply terrifying. If the people on Jaya are so miserable, then what will be the situation for the people on Skypiea? They are clearly more miserable, but fortunately for them, the situation didn't last long enough to turn them to ashes. A gigantic-sized lightning sun disappeared from the sky and 4 people appeared in its place.
Kaido was in the hybrid form on his knee as he breathed rough.
Even breathing in his current state was difficult. The air around him seemed to contain the smell of intense burning, as if he was a dragon grilled in the microwave. Near him stood Roger on a small, semi-destroyed island, floating with the power of Shiki. He didn't look well too, but he's way better than Kaido. Roger was the peak of strength in this world, even though he didn't have a devil fruit, but his mastery of Haki had long surpassed the limits of humans. Once his body was wrapped by Conqueror Haki, there was nothing even a lightning fruit awakening could do to him. As for Shiki, he was a little worse than Roger. When the lightning sun swallowed them up inside, fortunately, he emptied his crew on the reserve island before he came here, or else they would all die. That's because of the heat had reached unimaginable levels inside that sun full of deadly lightning charges. Even large swaths of his floating islands were melted into scorching dust due to the intense heat. Had Rob not stopped this move, everything would have melted to nothing except for the art store in Merville. The 3 of them couldn't say anything because at this moment Rob's shape made them stare at him in astonishment. It wasn't a terrifying giant like Kaido's dragon form, and it didn't look as powerful and overwhelming as the way Shiki fought by using his floating islands. He was still maintaining his usual height, but even so, he looked like a giant god at this moment. Clouds glowing with yellow and blue thunderbolts floated over his neck like a divine scarf from Japanese culture. Author's note, like the scarf floating around Luffy's neck in Gear 5 transformation, but it's even more extraordinary. His hair color turned yellow because of the lightning soaring up like legendary Super Saiyajan's transformation. High voltage on his shoulders were 2 tangible thunderbolts like 2 knives stuck in his body, high voltage. His clothes were also transformed into medieval knight armor, but armors made of highly concentrated yellow lightning. His eyes glow with black ring-like eyes, but still, the yellow light in his eyes was the most obvious. His appearance looked similar to the lightning god from the legends. When Rob mastered the Logia awakening, he didn't yet know how to put this amazing power to use, but he got inspired when he watched Luffy's battle against Kaido in the manga, then easily came up with this form. Most devil fruits can be controlled by one's imagination. When the user reaches the awakening stage, they can even become a god if their imagination is rich enough. Rob's current form was not the peak of his strength, but he was still one of the closest to the peak. Of course, he hadn't combined the paper fruit and the barrier fruit in this transformation, or else he would have become many times more terrifying. Rob looked at his hands covered in lightning armors in admiration. This powerful form was also worthy of appreciation. But everything depends on the strength of this form, otherwise, it will be just an empty shell. Of course, Rob didn't think his shape was just useless fashion. The immense power exploding in his body at this moment could not be described in words. He felt the indescribable lightness and freedom in this form. He had never had such a feeling in his normal form. He had never felt this powerful before. In his current form, he had a feeling that he could even fight Emu. Rob looked at Kaido, who was in his hybrid form, and then the next moment, with a speed that even Kizaru can't reach, Rob attacked in Kaido's direction. Kaido felt a huge power grip on his neck. He didn't even feel anything by using his observation haki. Rob squeezed Kaido Dragon's scales so easily that his eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. Even though he had yet to reach his peak as emperor, the current Kaido wasn't that weak, but in Rob's hands, the majestic dragon looked like a chicken that could be slaughtered at any moment, despite the huge disparity in their sizes. To the viewers, the difference in their sizes seemed not found. With both hands, Kaido grabbed Rob's hand that held his neck like pincers. At this point, Kaido also awakened his mythical Zoan, so he wasn't in a completely disadvantageous situation. Fire clouds appeared from his body and attacked Rob, whose body started to burn bright red as a result. These fires are not even enough to ignite the wax of a birthday cake. Rob borrowed the famous Whitebeard saying from the Summit War, and then his lightning bolts completely consumed Kaido's weak fire. Rob pressed Kaido even harder until the latter lost his fighting ability, but he didn't lose his consciousness yet. He wasn't that weak, he just happened to fall completely at Rob's mercy because he wasn't careful enough. Listen to me, Kaido, you're going to leave this place and never come back here again, or believe me, you won't end up like the first time and this time.
Rob still hadn't the intention of killing Kaido, at least not now. When Kaido nodded, Rob let him leave, then looked at Shiki, who was already preparing to retreat.
But Rob didn't plan to let him leave like that without paying the price of destroying so many Scipions' homes. Shiki felt Rob's gaze fall on him naturally, but he didn't panic. He wasn't as weak as Kaido, who escaped with his tail between his legs after all. You really surprised me, your strength rise again. Although he felt a warning from his observation haki, he didn't have the lightning speed to avoid the attack that would definitely cut off one of his limbs. He can only see his right leg cutting smoothly from below the knee. Before that, Rob pulled one of the Thunderbolt's high voltage on his shoulder and threw it straight at the target he had already locked in. This Thunderbolt contained intense lightning of awakening power and could only be dissipated by the user himself. It was a weapon to kill. Once thrown, it wouldn't even take less second to hit the target. Of course, that wasn't the only way to use it. Shiki fell weakly on his island as he gazed with a grudge against the man who cut off his leg. Rob had retrieved his Thunderbolt and had played with it as if he was playing with a baseball.
What? Do you still want to lose another leg?
You have to be grateful and leave quietly, or you won't lose just your leg on my next move.
Shiki didn't say anything.
He took his severed leg and flew away with his floating islands. It was a humiliating loss for him this time, but he would definitely not allow this day to be forgotten. He would inevitably take revenge. When Kaido and Shiki left, only Roger was left, but he was no longer in the air but rather descended on a nearby floating cloud.
Wahahaha. You were so tyrannical there, man. You used your peak condition to crush any resistance ideas to them.
What a spirit you have. Roger, his crew, the Navy, and everyone who witnessed Rob's legendary move was absolutely stunned.
Sigh.
They made me do it, Captain. The lightning's god transformation disappeared and Rob returned to his normal form before his fall accelerated downward.
You still call me Captain, Are you miss the old days? Why don't you come back to the crew then?
You know we're going to that place soon, otherwise, you're going to miss out on a lot of fun. Rob fell close to Kuzan, who did not react, only in pure awe. The strength Rob had shown was still stuck in his mind that he was unable to forget.
Thank you for what you did, young man, this is your reward. Rob put the authorization card in the Vice Admiral's jacket pocket.
With this card, you can safely leave via the port below, but you can still stay longer if you want to. Just forget about the one-day limit I said earlier. Rob left for his former crew with Gonfall while the God Knights and Marines went to clean Angel Island off the remnants of the previous fierce battle. Thank you for ending the fight so quickly, Rob-san.
Don't thank me, Gonfall.
It was my fault that I let them mess around a little longer. The Art Store's Tavern in Angel Island.
What's the fun in finding out the secret of One Piece so quickly?
I still want to enjoy more of living in this world more. For me, knowing the secret of One Piece by traveling with you is a waste of all the fun. Might I got it without that?
Go ahead and spoil all that fun on you and your crew, Captain, ha ha.
Rob laughed while sipping a soft drink.
You manipulative bastard, you know what?
If I had no choice, I'd disband the crew and retire to an island with an art store to enjoy manga too without risking anything.
And is this a life a freedom-obsessed person would want to live, Captain?
Ha!
Rob, you bastard, why?
Just why are you still bullying my character in the manga? Rob looked at the young buggy who was looking at him with a pathetic look.
How do I bully you? Aren't you usually this way? Did I draw something out of place?
Buggy was speechless at this moment.
Chapter 225, Roger's crew in the Golden City. Wano Country, the capital of flower.
Sakura blossoms dispersal in the wind, creating a beautiful scene for the peak of spring.
The atmosphere in the capital was very enthusiastic amid intense preparations for the annual fire festival. Everyone was at the peak of their activity for the fire festival. At this same time in the original plot, Orochi had already taken control of Wano and had become the shogun by his malicious plot. But fortunately for Odin, his father the shogun, and all the inhabitants of Wano, that Orochi, and the Kurizomi Zolds who tried to get him to take over Wano for Kaido had already died at Rob's hands years ago. Because of Orochi's death, the Wano people could continue to enjoy their peaceful lives under the auspices of the ruling Kuzoki family. But because of the art store and the global cruise company, the lives of the Wano people slowly changed towards opening up to the world. The art store located in Kuri province has contributed to the anime and manga and enriches their knowledge of the outside world through the wonderful One Piece manga in this regard. While the global cruise company brought various resources from all over the world to Wano, which enhanced their knowledge of the outside world. It was all planned by Rob, Odin, the current shogun, and all the daimyo to prepare for the opening of Wano in the future. The One Piece manga not only introduced the world outside of Wano but also revealed some secrets that have always caused great mystery to Wano residents in general and the Shimatsuki family in particular. 30 years ago, the famous swordsmith Shimatsuki Kozaburo illegally left Wano for an unknown reason under the pretext of adventure. No one at that time knew where Kozaburo went, and some are already unanimous in his death. But the One Piece manga had another opinion on that matter, as it surprisingly revealed the mystery of where the latter went and founded a family of swordsmen there. When Zoro's past appeared in manga and anime, the names of Shimatsuki Koshiro and Shimatsuki Kuina were revealed. Although the name of Kuina's dead grandfather wasn't revealed, it was enough to know that it was actually Shimatsuki Kozaburo. Zoro's past made a special impression on the samurai of Wano country. This was the story of the rise of the world's strongest swordsman. So just as Zoro believed that he would one day become the strongest swordsman in the world, so did the samurai of Wano country. It was too unfortunate for them that Kuina died. Capital of Flower, the residence of Huguro the Flower. This place was the area of the famous Yakuza boss, Huguro the Flower, although he is the boss of the Yakuza, which is considered a corrupt organization, but his organization amazingly does not intimidate civilians at all, and even helps them if they are in distress. Just like the event of the Raging Pig King happened 6 years ago. Noland. What a great man. Even Huguro, who is known for his tough temper, cried on Noland's story after reading it in the manga. Noland reminded him a bit of himself. Kalgara also a great warrior, with unparalleled loyalty. Having such a person as a friend is a real blessing, or Noland wouldn't think about his friend's safety even at the moment of his execution. The person who spoke is also a big shot in Wano country and was here for work. Hakamai Daimyo, Shimatsuki Yasui. What a surprise! Even someone like you could cry. I'm the one who should say this. If the Yakuza boss's followers knew their boss cried because of the manga story, I don't know what would happen. Wahaha. As if they didn't cry like a little bitches while reading this flashback. Huguro wasn't bothered by the fact that he was so moved by Noland's story, but looked in the direction of his heavy guest and asked the question on his mind. Well then, what important business does a respected daimyo have with me? Okay, I'll tell you straight, I want to get out of Wano and pay a visit to Shimatsuki village in East Blue, and I need strong people to ensure my safety. Upper Yard, Golden City. What a great place. It still holds the same majesty we saw in the manga. Odin and the rest of Roger's crew felt all kinds of emotions from shock to numbness after entering the ruins of the Golden City. As they walked on the gold, they searched everywhere. But traces of the past were stuck throughout the Golden City. A random rod in this place will make us rich. Now that I've entered this place, I understand these crazy gold lovers. I'm afraid I'll catch the gold fever like this kid. Gabon pointed at Buggy, whose eyes had turned completely red since he entered here. If Shanks hadn't grabbed him with all his might, he would have run here like crazy. Ha! Buggy! Wake up! Don't make me punch you again. Get away from me. This is my treasure. It's all mine. It's mine. I lost my first treasure because of you. I don't want to lose a city-sized treasure because of you too. Rayleigh, looks like Buggy's gold fever has reached a dangerous level. What are we going to do?
Just leave him alone. If he can carry the golden city in his pocket, then he can take it.
Ah. You're right.
Once Shanks left Buggy, the latter ran like crazy and started licking gold everywhere.
What a rich history the ancient Shandians had. A whole city of gold.
I can't imagine how obscenely rich these people were. Sigh. Roger sighed before laughing and continued his words.
Wahahaha.
They were so rich that even the newly established world government envied them for it and attacked them with all their might. You seem to know some secrets, Captain.
What secrets, Odin? Didn't the One Piece manga say that outright? Ha? Who said it was the world government who attacked them? The manga didn't say that at all. Really? Then just forget that. Ha? Wasn't this golden city supposed to be stuck in the clouds in the middle of that giant vine? This is what appeared in the manga, right? So how did it get back here? Oh, you seem to have noticed, Captain? Yes, you are right. I was the one who put the golden city back in its rightful place. Is that you, Rob? You're back quickly. Rob walked through the remains of Shandora and met up with his former crew. You said that you were responsible for shifting the location of the golden city? How did you do that without destroying it? Ah, it's a secret, hee hee.
Of course, Rob can't tell him that he set up an unremarkable art store in the middle of the Golden City and used the transfer of store land feature to instantly move the Golden City here. This feature was a secret trump card for him. Chapter 226, Rob and Alvia Letters on the Golden Wall. Sky Island is so much fun. Once we arrived, we saw the great pirates battle that rarely happens. Then we saw Rob's amazing power. After all that, we got to know the famous people in the manga, God Gone Fall and his bird Pierre. In the end, we had fun playing by the waiver. That last one is a lie. You've been falling all the time. Why do you record the lying things in your diary, Odin? Odin's expression changed to annoyance after hearing what Gaban had said. What annoyed look on your face. It's hard to ride that waiver anyway. But Nami mastered riding it on her first try. So I thought it would be easy. Sigh. Why did you suddenly frustrated? Aha. Buggy? Shanks? Why are they shouting like that? While Buggy and Shanks were looking for pieces of gold, they came across a sleeping monster that made them feel terrified. It's that snake. King of the sky. Aha. Odin-san saved us. Noah chased after Buggy and Shanks frantically but stopped when it noticed Rob in the group and fell back to sleep peacefully in its previous spot. Buggy and Shanks sighed in relief while Roger and the rest of the crew laughed heartily at Buggy and Shanks' plight. Hide our true motive in your hearts. We are the ones who weave history with the great bell ringing. Odin read the historical stone that Robin reads in the manga for the first time. It's the same interpretation of Rob's daughter as to what is written in this stone. Rob was only smiling the whole time. Of course, he could also read the old language, but he didn't want to take Odin's role in the crew. The great bell. Its voice comes from there. Let's go. So this is the great Shandora's bell tower. Although I saw it in the manga, seeing it in the real is completely different. Even Shanks, who was normally calm, couldn't help but be dumbfounded in the presence of such a wonderful bell. It's pure gold. How are we going to take it, Captain? Buggy's thinking was focused on treasures as he had always been. I don't have time. When you become a captain yourself, come back and take him yourself, Buggy. What? Let's at least get a piece of it now. This stone is easy to find as it has a strong voice inside. But this bell also has a unique and powerful voice, though its voice is different from that of a stone which seems to speak of great power, isn't it, Odin? As Odin was walking toward the poneglyph, Rob asked Roger, who was next to him. You can hear it too, Captain. It's like time letters from the past that express greetings of the ancients. Roger completed the words Rob was about to say. Roger smiled before continuing to say, isn't it? Yes, you're right. It's exactly like the manga. The writings talk about a weapon called Poseidon.
Ha 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 ha. Are you still suspicious of the manga's credibility?
All the crew members looked at Rob with terrified expressions.
No doubt this moment they are living is a bit scary. But amazing things are yet to come. Captain, are you going to ask me to write something too?
When Roger wanted to ask Odin to write something, Odin had already walked toward the Golden Wall.
But to his surprise, something is already written here. Odin said loudly. Ha! You're right. What's written there and for what purpose? For some reason, Roger panicked at this moment. Don't panic, Captain Roger. I have protected this for you, so that you may guide this text to the ends of the earth. The Mangaka King, Rudius D. Arab.
Another letter says, to my dear daughter Robin, when you read this in the distant future, hurry up and come back home for lunch.
You know the consequences of hanging out without my permission. The Mangaka King's wife, Nico Olivia. Odin. Roger. Rayleigh. The rest of the crew. Ha 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 ha. When Rob burst out laughing, Roger and his crew couldn't hold back their laughter any longer and then also burst out laughing. Wah ha 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 ha. Sha ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. This scene can be compared to their last laugh on Laughtail Island in the manga. Heaven's Gate Port.
You have great jokes.
I foresaw the words I would tell Odin to carve, then you have spread them out to the world in the last volume. Not only did that, but 3 years before that, you had carved such words for that exact moment. What an emotionless bastard you are.
After spending a few fun days in Skypiea, it's finally time for Roger's pirates to leave and continue their journey. Rob and Roger stood near Oro Jackson, which was moored near the New World path of the port. Just seeing the expressions on your face and the others at that moment was definitely worth it.
Never mind, the important thing is that the Poneglyph has already played its part. Did you tell the Shandians about it?
Yes, since they read the manga they are fully aware of what is going on. From the moment you arrived they already knew it.
That's good. Seems my time here is ended, my friend, let's meet again. Roger.
That drop of blood I gave you can completely cure your disease, be sure to use it. Don't worry my friend, I appreciate it and trust you, but I will only use it when the time is right.
Once he finished his work on Skypiea, Rob finally returned to Ohara to focus on the upcoming events. The Sky Island saga has ended.
The desired effect was obtained from the Sky Island saga. The construction of the Heaven's Gate port has been completed.
Sky Island residents were widely accepted in the world.
Good seeds have been recruited from the Sky Island residents in Rob's guild. Like Enel, his priests, and also Cricket. Nolan's reputation was cleaned up and the blame returned to the former Neil royal family. Gold lovers were suppressed, and Rob's control of the seas became strong more than ever. Rob successfully demonstrated his strength and made the Navy, the world government, and the great pirates think 100 times before trying to make trouble with him.
Sky Island and Jaya Island were officially brought under his authority.
And most important of all, the harem has been officially acquired. Rob scored the achievement mark on all of his successful goals before returning to his bed on which 6 heavenly bodies of completely naked women slept.
How long did Rob wait to achieve this moment?
He'd waited a long time for sure, but it was all worth it. Just sleeping with 6 beauties was worth all the blood and tears he spent so far.
Chapter 227, Deep Love with Passing Time?
The next morning Sora woke up to find herself completely naked while hugging someone's hand between her breasts.
She wasn't the only woman in this position.
There are other women who hug the same person while they sleep beside her. Memories of the last night were brought back, causing her face to turn red with embarrassment. After Rob returned from Skypiea yesterday and declared the Sky Island task completed with the full mark. He didn't just throw a raucous party in which all the store goddesses participated. But at the end of the party, he confessed his love for them and his willingness to be their husband forever.
From the intensity of their happiness, they drank until they lost consciousness.
A large smile appeared on Sora's face at this moment, unable to hold back her happiness. She's waited so long for this moment, since her first meeting with Rob when he let her work with him. It's been over 2 years, and during this time her feelings for Rob are stronger than ever. At first, it was just an admiration, then it turned into pure love. Although she was just his maid, he didn't neglect her at all but kept treating her with the most kindness that no one other than her deceased father had treated her. Despite he was a married man, and despite he knows her love for him. All these years Rob has been taking care of her and he has never refused her love, always allowing her hope to rise until today it became a reality. Sora touched her beating heart, unable to contain her happiness. She has never been happier than today. Sora looked at the women sleeping happily next to the man they chose. They were all like her, having the same love, the same belief, and the same desire. But the woman who had an important role in allowing them to realize this dream was Alvia, so Sora was very grateful to this woman who sacrificed her selfishness so that they could become a big family. In the pirates' world, polygamy was not unusual. Many kings and powerful people had more than one wife. But even though Rob was a great and powerful person, he was also an honest person. Had Alvia not given him the green light, he wouldn't have chosen them to be his wives as well. It was all based on Alvia's decision. And who didn't disappoint them at this stage, but she was happy that her sisters also sleep on her husband's bed. When Sora left the room, the rest of the women woke up one by one. Like Sora, they reacted the same. Immediately after waking up, Glora was still absorbing the shock of what had happened last night. She was so sorry that she had drunk so much alcohol that she wasn't able to experience the first night's sleep with her beloved man. But it was just a little disappointment. There are still countless nights to come as she is currently embracing the body of the man she loves. This experience has been her dream for years, but this dream has come true. For Amazon Lily's Empress, before getting to know Rob, she never imagined herself living this experience before. The hatred of Amazonian women for men is not a simple thing, but at the same time, they are easier to fall in love with men. Toki had not imagined neither in the past nor in the future that she would have such an enjoyable experience when she decided to travel to the future last time. Well, she already expected that she wouldn't use her ability to teleport to the future at the next station, but she didn't know why. But now she knew why, because she had already decided not to leave the side of Rob. Even with her ability to predict the future, she didn't want the time to come to use it. She knew it. When she saw Rob for the first time, she had the same reaction but to a lesser degree when she saw a certain guy on the Whitebeard ship, but she didn't think about him much, since the reaction was stronger from the man next to her. From that moment, she knew that her destiny is finished, and tied up with this man. Especially after she got to know his abilities. Her experiences with men were completely non-existent, so when she stayed with the same man for a long time, she felt a seed of familiarity grow in her heart, which with time turned into love. A big smile appeared on her sleeping face after remembering yesterday's confession. Toki, the time train you've been riding has already stopped since you meet me. What do you think of its final destination? When she heard him say this line, her body instinctively trembled. For the first time she felt that someone truly believed that she had been traveling through time a long time ago. A small tear fell from her eyes before she answered the question that had been pending since yesterday. It's the best destination ever. Otoheim only got to know Rob recently, but that didn't stop her from feeling drawn to him and falling in love with him over time. In fact, it's hard not to fall in love with a man like him. But falling in love with him is one thing and living it is quite another, so she thought what happened last night was just a dream. Only after waking up on Rob's body did she realize that what had happened last night was not just a dream, but true reality. After this realization, she couldn't hold back her happiness. Her relationship with Rob was more than just that of a man with a woman. Rather, it was a relationship between a race with a different race. Otoheim was carrying the hopes of all fishmen to be freed from their fate. Her relationship with Rob brought not only her happiness but the happiness of all fishmen. Author's note, except for Neptune. Face with tears of joy. Belmere was the youngest among Rob's women, as she was only 18 years old. The age difference between her and Rob is big, as Rob was already 31 years old, but that didn't stop her from madly in love with him. In her life Rob was the only man she felt a true desire to make a family with him. The age difference didn't matter. When she first joined him, she was like his younger sister, but as the years went by his treatment of her didn't change at all. He was still treating her the same way, but for her, big changes happened. She realized that she loved him and literally unable to think of someone else. Being a store goddess, it wasn't as if she had never met strong and handsome guys before, but all these people could never shake Rob's place in her heart. Only then did she realize that she really loves him, and if there is no change in little sister's attitude, she will still be at this point throughout her life. Luckily for her, Alvia found out and told Rob. Of course, Rob wasn't unaware of her feelings, but he was still waiting for her to be of legal age before he felt comfortable making her his wife. Bella chuckled when she remembered her first conversation with Rob when he was frightened by an unknown existence called the FBI. In this world there was no concept of the legal age that Rob was talking about. Women at 14 or 15 could marry and have children, but for Rob, the legal age was 18. The same person who once said that my bad mood would make me celibate all my life was the one who married me.
What do you have to say, Rob Oni-chan? He.
I have nothing to say, just I lost. Before she could react, she found herself in his arms, unable to get out.
Ah. You're awake. Actually, we are also awake.
Alvia, Toki, Otoheim, and Gloriosa got up and looked at Belmir with a meaningful smile. They had heard what she was gossiping about after all.
Has Rob ever said such a romantic line to you? What a husband!
He had foresight dash. Before Alvia could finish her words, Rob's leg wrapped around her waist like a snake and pulled her toward his arms as well.
As if it would be easy for you to make fun of this husband from now on. Rob's smile remained on his face. Alvia and Bella couldn't move within his cuddle, they couldn't help but surrender under his force.
He only let them leave after Sara came back to the room with breakfast in her hand.
Half of the first day passed enjoying each other in this way.
The fun only ended when little Robin came to find her father.
Chapter 228, Global Chat System. Until now, I'm still shocked by the last event. Unbelievable. He defeated Shiki and Kaido with just one move. Awakening the most destructive Logia is not as simple as it seems. With such strength, I'm afraid he has the qualifications for arrogance. How ridiculous, how did he develop to this level so quickly? Who knows?
No, we have known for a long time that he has an enormous secret in his body. But now, it's too late to try to figure something out from his body. If we don't sacrifice at least one of us, then there's no way. Sigh.
What a predicament. Does Logia Awakening allow the user's appearance to change?
Even we don't know all the secrets of the devil fruits. The mustachioed Gorosei was holding a wanted poster in his hand. On the poster, Rob appeared in the lightning's god form. His aesthetic standards surpassed anything else in this world, and in terms of strength, he was more straightforward.
Kaido and Shiki were no ordinary pirates for Rob to defeat them with one move.
High voltage, picture high voltage.
Only alive. Bounty
5.200,000,000. With this bounty, he has become the most wanted criminal nowadays. At least for the world he will remain a criminal.
We are totally tied against him and don't have much of a means to deal with him. We've never faced such an annoying opponent even compared to Nika.
At least it still gives us a lot of information that goes well beyond the losses. A big smile formed on the faces of the 5 elders. Indeed, the reason they allowed Rob to grow to such a level was because of the valuable information he provided in the manga, which since only they know its secrets can benefit from it. Rubber fruit, for example, ever since it appeared in the first chapter, they were completely dumbfounded, then greatly relieved. Rubber fruit, unlike other devil fruits, has its own spirituality, so it can hide away from humans' eyes for hundreds of years. But the manga showed them that it will appear in the future, where the Red Hair crew will get it somehow, and Luffy will eat it. If they knew this information beforehand, they could definitely handle the matter easily and prevented Nika from reviving in this era. Suddenly, and without warning, a silver bracelet appeared on the 5 elders' hands. The shape of the bracelet seemed completely ordinary without any frills, but the moment it merged with their body, they heard a robotic voice in their head that increased their current confusion by many levels.
Global chat system activated. You have met the conditions to enter the global chat system.
The conditions are reading all the manga volumes available in the art store,
watching all the anime available in the art store.
Global chat system. It's a global communication network sourced from the art store. Through the bracelet on your wrist you will be able to share your love for manga and anime and your aspirations for this type of art with countless people who meet the conditions to enter the chat like you. Global chat system is divided into 4 rooms. Local chat room, all eligible people from the same island are included in this room.
You can speak here without restrictions. Regional chat room. This room hosts all eligible people from the same sea. Each member has 5 chances to send a message per day. Global chat room. This room hosts all eligible people from all over the world. Each member has 1 chance to send a message per day. Private chat room. Not everyone can join this room, only the main characters in the world. If you are a main character, you can speak here without restrictions. Warning: the global chat system provides users with a platform to freely share their thoughts on their favorite manga and anime. Insults and bullying are not allowed or you will be banned. At this moment, millions of people in the world got the same bracelet and received the same information. For a moment, the world went completely silent. Global chat room. Shiroyaki of North Blue, what is this? Are there other people who can also see this phantom window, or am I the only one having hallucinations? Hanami of Grand Line, I see it too. It's easy to write on this thing. What a nice bracelet. Plus 9,654 messages. Owner of Shandora's Gold, Grand Line, I found it. You can change the username from the settings. This thing called the global chat system is very cool. Aizen's wife, New World, too many messages here, it is boring to check them all, I'm going back to the local room. The 5 elders looked at each other in complete astonishment. You also got the bracelet, right? The bald Gorosei's eyes reflected a lot of messages from countless people from different seas in the global chat room. Yeah. Don't send any message here, let's watch the current situation first. But Imu-sama. She has sent a message. Elsewhere, Imu was observing the window exposed in front of her with an excited expression. She'd never seen such a thing before. Private chat room. Kinemon, Odin-sama, if you're reading this message, please come back quickly. Denjiro, Kin-san, are you an idiot? Kinemon, why? Odin, oh? Are you really a Kinemon and Denjiro? Kinemon, it's Odin-sama. You have really answered. Whitebeard, when will you return to Moby Dick, Odin? Marco, I have already understood how all the other rooms work, but I don't yet understand how this private room works. Rob, administrator, the people who can communicate here are the people who appeared in the manga of One Piece or will appear later. That's how it is. Rob, administrator. Yes, I'm the admin. This is a beta version of the global chat system. I will develop it according to users' opinions. I get what you're trying to do, Rob. In O'Hara, Rob wiped his sweaty brow while reading this crazy woman's message. It's not that he didn't expect this woman to be able to enter the private room, but he was surprised that she actually participated in the chat. Who is I? Why does it seem to know you, dear? Alvia? Is there anyone in this world who doesn't know me? You saw my new wanted poster, right? Alvia gave Rob a suspicious look but didn't put much pressure on him. Her interest soon returned to the new world before her. Global chat system. A day after its release, all over the world, the hype around it is still getting bigger as the minute goes by. Chapter 229, The End of the Bleach Manga. Part 1. Global Chat Room. King from South Blue, oh my god, the last volume of Bleach is already out, Bleach already ended. Shad from East Blue. It's the final battle between Ichigo against Yawatch. Lover of Rukia from West Blue, this is impossible. How can Rukia become Rinji's wife? Celestial Dragon San Sebastian from the Red Continent, humble peasants. Who said Bleach is ended? Another word and I will send the Admiral to clean your ass all. Marine Lieutenant from Grand Line, Bleach is already ended, sir, it won't do any good to send the Admiral. Hanji from New World, another Celestial Dragon. How can those trash use the global chat system like us? The World Destroyer from New World, the confrontation between Aizen and Yawatch made my blood boil for the first time in a long time. Plus 10,673 message. Mihawk cancelled the chat window and looked in the direction of the island whose features were already beginning to appear in his field of vision. Since leaving the Brisk Kingdom he continued to train under Ishu's supervision, but in the end, Ishu wasn't his nanny, he also had his work and tasks to finish.
Being a famous number in the most famous hunters guild in the world, he will have many tasks to complete.
Mihawk was left alone training on an uninhabited island far from any traces of civilization.
But a week ago he got the global chat system, which allowed him to contact the civilization via this surprising feature. As soon as news of the last volume of Bleach started emerging, he stopped training decisively and boarded his small boat that looked a bit like what he was riding in the manga on his first appearance in the Baratai arc. Young Mihawk looked more and more like his future version, even his strength level had risen by vast levels since the appearance of the manga, the power with which he could explode was unfathomable. This world has become completely different from what it should have been. But it's good, this is the age of opportunity as well. Since the nearest island with an art store wasn't too far from the uninhabited island where he was training, he wasn't too slow in arriving at his destination. His arrival in such a majestic manner caused chaos at the crowded port of Karate Island.
Oh my. It's Dracula Mihawk.
Everything about a certain character can be imitated, but that face, those eyes.
They definitely can't be imitated. Did he come here for the art store?
People gave way to Mihawk, but they still watched his actions from afar. Among the crowd, a dark blue-haired young woman looked at Mihawk with a sly look. She had the lower half of a beautiful woman, but her face wasn't that of a beautiful woman at all. Even if she was only looking at someone, he would think she was looking at them maliciously.
This unbeautiful young woman was Katarina Devon, Mythical Zoan's user, the Ninetails Fox.
Her current job is a hunter in a famous guild in South Blue, and her title is just like the manga.
Crescent Moon Hunter. Mihawk sensed it the moment she caught look at him, like a hawk quickly locking its sight on its prey.
Katarina Devon felt her back turn cold from that look that resembled the prick of a sharp sword. After getting enough information from just one look, Mihawk continued walking toward the art store uninterested in anything.
Miran Fufafu. He noticed me, what a terrifying monster.
The moment Mihawk looked at her, she felt a threat to her life, so she quickly pulled out from the crowd and vanished away. On the day a popular manga volume is released, places with an art store become a legitimate enemy territory because many pirates come to enjoy the luxury of an art store. For a little girl like her who was slowly building a position in this world, the identity of an official hunter was the best thing she could get. Using a hunter card, she can legally kill, legally loot, and legally empty all her psychic abnormalities without suffering the same fate as the original story when she was captured by the world government and then placed in level 6 at Impel Down. Equals 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 equals.
Rukia, Runji. Wait. Now's not the time. Runji, we don't have that luxury. We're gonna go after him.
Rukia, you fool. Charging in head first is no plan. We need to regroup and form a strategy before confronting him.
Renji, we could sit here and think. But ain't no strategy that'll work against a freak like that.
Rukia, there's
got to be something. Ichigo, yeah. You're totally right. It's too late. It's hopeless now. Tsukishima, your sword
has not been broken.
Well then, I guess we can call the debt repaid. We're square now, right? Ichigo, hell yeah. Zero hesitation in those eyes. The stage is Soul Society,
where the final, decisive battle shall take place.
Yawatch, you're a sight for sore eyes. I never would have imagined that we'd cross paths again here in Soul Society. Aizen, I'd like to welcome you to my Soul Society. Equals 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 equals.
When Mihawk reached this point, he got goosebumps. The amount of prestige and luxury in this scene exceeded what could be described as the peak. Mihawk was very excited about this clash between two of the best existences in the Bleach world,
Aizen and Yawatch.
Then Mihawk continued reading the remainder of the volume to the end. But when the end actually came, he felt indescribably frustrated. The ending was very good indeed, but his frustration didn't diminish at all.
And here is the end of a very good story. Mihawk stood up from his seat in the art store and left the art store frustrated and alone. Holy Land Marigoa. Equals 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 equals. Yawatch, you'd stand in my way? For the sake of Soul Society? I don't think that would be in your best interests. Aizen.
This has nothing to do with interests. My only agenda is to eviscerate any who might try to rule over and control me.
Yawatch, Ichigo. Ranji. You arrived rather quickly. I've already seen it all. That the two of you would come here.
That you would restore your blade back whole again only to have it shatter once again in your hands.
Yawatch, it's been fun, Ichigo. Your resistance was
mildly amusing, at best. So the least I can do for you is erase your existence along with Soul Society.
Aizen, I see. So you think you're gazing at Kurosaki Ichigo? Fascinating. Ichigo, Getsuga Tenshu. Has the duel been decided? A last-second, desperate attempt. Yawatch, what the? What is this? Ichigo, Ishida?
The silver that forms as a result of Oswallen is referred to as still silver. And it mixed with the blood of the one who activated the Oswallen.
Can, for just an instant, stop his powers. Ishida, now. Kurosaki. Yawatch, so what? So what if you manage to stop my powers for just an instant? Ishida, it's useless. He won't make it in time. Yawatch, Zangetsu. I see. So what I saw at that moment was a glimpse of the future. I thought it was but a dream that you were showing me. Wolf. Broken alongside Zangetsu. Equals 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 equals.
Once they finished reading the Bleach volume, the five elders looked at each other with looks that said, as expected.
We're used to this.
Is Rob trying to show what a protagonist can do?
Will our end be as that of a giant like Yawatch? Good always triumphs over evil. My ass.
Even Yawatch with all that formidable power, he can't compare to Lord Emu.
We know this, there is no need to doubt the greatness of Lord Emu. Unbelievable.
What all this luck, I didn't think an existence like Yawatch would die. But Ichigo, Aizen, Ishida, and Renji's alliance against him is rather unfair. The manga this guy is drawing has an unclear purposes.
Kon, Sengoku, Vegapunk. You've arrived, that's good. What's new about the global chat system? Did you manage to explain it? Chapter 230, The End of the Bleach Manga. Part 2. Kon, Sengoku, Vegapunk. You've arrived, that's good. What's the news about the global chat system? Did you manage to untie it?
The first to enter the government hall was a man dressed in white scientist clothes, with a metal mask covering the upper half of his face. This person was the famous scientist, Vegapunk, one of the leaders of the MADS team in the past, and a world government scientist on the SSG team at the Marine Science Unit. It's easy to trace the threads of the global chat system, everyone knows that it comes from art stores all over the world. Using art stores as receivers and transmitters, the global chat system works in a way similar to the way communications snail of various kinds work, but the global chat system is more comprehensive and complex. From my observation of this high-level technology, I believe that the domain of communication in this world has already fallen into Rob's hands.
The brows of the five elders furrowed after hearing this. Before, they were frustrated because of the end of the Bleach manga even though they didn't know the reason for their frustration.
And now their fears have been confirmed by Vegapunk.
Isn't there a way to control a certain percentage of the chat system? At least 1 or 2 chat rooms? The long-bearded Gorosei asked with some hope in his eyes.
First, we urgently need time to understand this new world before attempting to control it, but my personal opinion is Rob wouldn't allow a loophole in such a global system of its own making.
What do you think, Sengoku? All eyes turned toward the fleet admiral known as the Wise Admiral.
First of all, we need to take advantage of the features of the global chat system. I think I saw the ability to create a private room for a main party. Only main parties in the world can create their own group, our navy and your world government. I think we can create private chat rooms and take advantage of their miraculous properties. We already know that, but we are considering the losses and benefits before taking such a step. In addition to this topic, we have called you here to save what can be saved from a pirate situation. Since the appearance of hunters, pirates have fallen into a completely unfavorable situation and are on the path to extinction. Yes, if the pirates disappear, the navy will also disappear. Sengoku felt disgusted by the 5 elders at this moment, but he didn't dare to show it. Because they were right in that regard. Elsewhere within the Pangaea castle, another power at the level of the ruler died this way. This doesn't bode well. Are you trying to tell me I'll end up in the Straw Hat Hand? Dear Rob? Foo. Imu has closed the last page of the legendary Bleach manga. Kazui, the son of Ichigo and Inui, was the last person to appear in the manga, heralding the end. First, the Ant King and now the Quincy King. Their ending doesn't bode well for me if my obsession comes true and this world was just a manga story too. One Piece. Interesting. The domain of the gods. Those slaves in the global chat room are annoying. They dare to bully a celestial dragon. Calm down, Saint Sebastian, don't be angry. The guardians of the celestial dragon struggled to quell his anger. How can I not get angry? Why can I only send one message a day? I hope to curse them all as much as I want. Sigh. He's also frustrated because Bleach has ended. Another celestial dragon looked at his friend and couldn't help but sigh sadly. He too was frustrated by Bleach's end. He could no longer see Rukia, Ranjaku, Unohana, and Yoruchi. All of those were his idols. This could be seen in his palace, which was full of their pictures in different poses. But what can he do? Even a celestial dragon like him knew that everything had an end. The domain of gods was in a big commotion after the Bleach manga ended. They had been reading it for almost 3 years now, so there was no doubt that they attached themselves to it very much. Even though the celestial dragons weren't attached to Bleach like they are attached to One Piece, it's still frustrating for Bleach fans just thinking there won't be Bleach again next month, nor the month after. Marineford. In the Vice Admiral's office. Sai Okitake is dead. Hirako is back as a captain. Interesting. Even Rukia became a captain. Awesome. Kazui? The son of Ichigo and Oraheim? Era R.A. The last remnants of Yawacha's strength have been captured by a child. Equals 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 equals. Aizen. Yawach. You desired a world where fear would no longer be a burden. But in a world without fear of death, people will never attain the hope that is to be found from casting their fears aside and persevering through them. While it is true that people can continue to press forward through the simple act of living, that is in no way comparable to marching forward in the face of death while doing their damnedest to keep it at bay. That is why people have given that very march a unique and special name. Courage. Kazui, who's there? Ichika, Abarai Ichika. A Shinigami apprentice. And you are? Kazui, me. I'm Kurosaki Kazui. I'm kind of a Shinigami too. Ishika, wa? Bleach. The end. Equals 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 equals. Era R.A. Aizen still amazes me with his wonderful sayings even at the end. Courage. What a beautiful synonym for not being afraid of death. Kuzan sighed after he finished reading the last chapter of his favorite manga. It all started with Aizen and ended with Aizen. What a great character. On this day, all Bleach fans around the world felt common feelings.
Complex and frustrating feelings. Impel down. Courage. Does everyone have the courage to fight death?
If there was someone with the same ideas as Yawatch in this world, I would support him with all my might.
What can your meager strength help a person of Yawatch level with? New prison warden Magellan looked at his deputy, Shiryu, and said sarcastically. What did you say?
I'm kind of frustrated, so you better get out of my way if you don't want to lose a piece of your poisonous ass.
Shiryu grabbed his devil blade, wanting to cut the poisoned bastard in front of him into pieces. If you dare to attack me, I will send you to meet Yawatch.
Even the leaders of Impel Down got the same frustrating mood at this moment.
Bleach manga is already over.
Watching from the side, the prisoners wished that Magellan and Shiryu would fight and kill each other so that they would have a chance to escape from this hell.
Jaya Island.
After this place officially became under Rob's authority, a base of his Hunters Guild was established and the pirates were expelled from here. Only those who gave up their titles as pirates or thugs and chose to live here as civilians were allowed to live here. Of course, most of the pirates and thugs have given up their past and turned into ordinary civilians for the sake of the art store. Inside the art store, no one could get close to the blind man who was sitting alone in the art store tavern. Except for the waitresses in the Jaya art store, even hunters from the same guild didn't dare disturb a high number from the guild.
That person was Issue. Courage. Ha! What a happy ending. Although a bit open. Issue relived all the moments he had with Bleach, from the fierce fight between Ichigo and Byakuya and also the battle between Ichigo against Ulquiorra.
The most amazing battle ever in the Karakura City War, the battle of Ichigo against Aizen, and especially Ichigo's amazing transformation after sacrificing his Shinigami abilities. Remembering all the moments since Ichigo met Rukia in the first chapter until Ichigo successfully killed Yawatch, it seemed as if he had followed Ichigo's life's journey from being just an ordinary human to reaching the peak of the world.
Sigh, I think Hawk-chan will be very frustrated now. A big smile appeared on Issue's face. Of course, not everyone was disappointed that Bleach ended.
Some felt happy that they were able to finish this great story.
Just like Issue in this case.
That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.